What is going on, guys? Here in this review video I'm going to be talking a pretty interesting yet very fun comedic horror yet light-hearted classic film. That film being Killer Klowns from Outer Space. This is definitely a film I absolutely love. I love the atmosphere, the creativity that got put into this kind of film. It's really one of the most ambiguous clown horror films that have ever been made, and it's definitely one I would recommend if you haven't seen it. And of course that's what this review is here for. And it is a film that is definitely in my top 3 favourite clown horror films of all time, followed by It and Terrifier. And of course you might just know about this, but apparently there has been a slight resurgence to this film, where there was apparently going to be a game at some point this year. There was going to probably be a game for maybe next year on Killer Klowns from Outer Space. There's a game coming out for PlayStation 4, I think PS5 and Xbox Series X and stuff, and Xbox One soon. So if you're a fan of this kind of film, or you even want to see this film at some point, I would definitely probably say maybe check out that game as well whenever it comes out soon. And I don't know if there ever will be some sequel to this kind of film that I'm about to talk, because I really love this film and I love its style. And it's going to be a very simple review, people. It's a simple storyline, it's a simple premise, this kind of film. So anyhow, let's get into this review. Starting straight off, on the positives. There is a lot of great creativity and ambiguity that is put into this sort of film. This is definitely the kind of film that has a simple premise, with its storyline of the obvious that you would think, outer space, Killer Klowns from Outer Space. It's focused on all this invasion stuff. You've got aliens that are guised as ordinary clowns. They're here on Earth, and obviously, they're on a mission to abduct and invade the whole planet and just, raise some serious chaos as they're at it. And it's awesome, and I love the ideas of what was put into these clowns. Their portrayal, the animatronic work that was put into these clowns is great for its time. 88 this was, and it's great effects for its time, done by the Kyoto brothers. And one of those brothers was the one that directed this film. The Kyoto brothers, they're literally the Duffer brothers or something that did Stranger Things. They put some great work into this classic, into this cult classic of a film. And the work on the set designs, the animatronics, it's all great here. And I love the soundtrack. I love the main theme song for this film, as you probably just heard in the opening card, Killer Klowns from a band known as the Dickies. Great song, and a great pop song for its time that really brings in that 80s feel whenever you listen to it. It's a great song, and it's a great pick for this kind of film. So going on with more of the positives anyhow. You've got some great characters, great main characters that is, in Mike here, done by Grant Kramer and his girlfriend Debbie. And they're obviously our two protagonists throughout the film that are trying to deal with this invasion problem. They obviously seek help from a cop known as Dave, done by I think John Allen Nelson his name was. And you have these two brothers in the film. They're hilarious. There's these two brothers that own this ice cream truck, and they're these just goofball brothers throughout the film that just pick on each other, and they're fun throughout the film. But And the main characters themselves, as I've said, Mike, Debbie, even the cop Dave, they're fun. They really get along well throughout this film, dealing with this like invasion problem that's to do with the clown aliens that are here, obviously abducting people one after another. And how they do it is done in a very unique way. Like, it's very creative. This is the kind of creative film that has a lot of the Dr. Seuss, earlier Willy Wonka film kind of vibes, with how it puts all this set design and animatronic and machine work into it. Like, the technology of their space tech is pretty incredible for 88. Like, they have a circus tents portray type of spaceship, and inside they have all like sorts of things like a candy cane pipes like you would use for, like, I don't know, fire rescue and stuff. They have like candy cane pipes in their space shuttle, and they have all these like cotton candy cocoons that like hold people that they abduct, and apparently like when they're like ripe or whatever, they like drink their blood from it. And yeah, it's a bit weird, but they have these like cotton candy cocoons that they use to contain all the people that they abduct throughout the movie, like, obviously. And there's all other sorts of cool things that they do throughout the film. Like, they have ways of being able to impersonate people, apparently. They have like a scene where they use a balloon to like tie together so that they can make like this bloodhound type of dog. They've even got like these like plasma guns or whatever that contain maybe butter, sweet popcorn, and they're just like using that to like create like plant-sized life forms that like eat or give people radioactive bites or some stuff like that, that, you know, maybe it's ways of killing people or turning them into killer clowns like them, who knows. But yeah, apparently there's all sorts of ambition and creativity put into those ideas throughout the film, and it's really fun. There's so many things really, but there's some of those things that I'm able to, like, you know, point out. Like, they have ways of using cotton candy cocoons to hold people, popcorn guns that, like, you know, turn into plant-sized life forms, and they have like all these like balloons and stuff that they can use to turn into animals, like a dog, for example. And they've even just got like all these they've got like this gibberish alien language that they speak throughout the movie, apparently. Of course, why wouldn't they? They're aliens guised as clowns, and they have their own nicknames like Jumbo and Rudy. And I love the ideas of these clowns. I love what they do and how they act and how they have a bit of humour to them throughout the film. And they're obviously, you know, just causing trouble because they're aliens and they're just probably understanding life in that sort of way. But there is a lot of great ideas with these clowns throughout the film, and it's really fun. It keeps you engaged, and it's the kind of film that's fun for its time. It's definitely 80s classy in its own way, and it kind of gives you the Dr. Seuss, Willy Wonka vibes with the set designs and all that gets put into this film. Now, proceeding on to the mixed. Honestly, I think this is going to be an easy one where I'm not really going to have a major negative to point out on this review, people, but for my mixed, I would probably just say there was problems with... I think the Kyoto brothers themselves noticed that they did want to like have a sequel for this where they were going to call it like Return of Killer Clowns from Outer Space in 3D, and that was like going to be maybe sometime like in the 90s where they would have that sequel, and apparently it never happened. But I would love for there to be a sequel, and I've kind of just feel like that sequel having not happened, we might have gotten something that I kind of felt was lacking in this film, and that's like what the Killer Clowns' world was like before they came to Earth. Like, maybe in the original film, or even if in the sequel, if it ever could have happened, we could have maybe seen a bit more on what their world was like before they came here to Earth. I think some of those things could have, you know, delivered here in this in the first film. If we never got a sequel, we could have maybe gotten a bit more intel on what their world was like, what they do, where they got all this freaky technology from, that shoots popcorn or cotton candy, that holds people in these cocoons. And there's all those kind of things where they're just, you know, like, it's fun to see, but maybe we could have had a bit more depth on what we actually want to know about where it all started. And that's maybe what we could have gotten with a sequel, if it ever could have happened. And is it possible? Maybe. Time will tell if we ever do get a sequel to a cult classic like this. So, yeah, honestly, people, that's pretty much everything. And I would definitely just say that this was, again, an easy film. It's an easy film with a simple premise, a lot of great creativity and ideas here and there. I would definitely recommend you see this at any point. You know, it's not really a very big Halloweeny film. It's good for late night watch with your friends and all that. So definitely check out this film in your own time if you ever want to, because it's definitely worth your time. It's a fun classic. Something like what you would get with the Leprechaun films, you know? It's one of those, you know, light-hearted comedy horror films that's got a bit of death and mayhem to it, but it's absolutely fun and definitely worth your time. So whenever you'd like to, check it out when you can. And of course, keep supporting. Feel free to like, comment and subscribe down below, and stay on board for more.